And in the midst of this Boston story came another one late this afternoon, another terrorist plot, unrelated, troubling nonetheless. This one's been thwarted. It apparently targeted passenger trains, routes from the U.S. to Canada among the potential targets.
The target for this alleged terror plot was the VIA train system in Canada. It's an intercity connecting system which is used by more than 4 million Canadians every year, especially in some of the more heavily populated areas in the east over here like Toronto and Montreal. And in fact, that's where these two men were arrested. This is what authorities say they were up to, that they were watching trains coming into and out of Toronto, surveying the tracks, surveying the trains themselves, looking for a weak spot that they could attack and try to derail a train. This is one of the very, very busy hubs there, and if I take you down to street level, you can see just exactly how urbanized this area might be. This is the VIA train sign right over there telling you where you are. The belief was that if they had been able to get into this train station or along these tracks and in fact derail a train, it would have amounted in heavy loss of life and real damage, and yet authorities say they managed to stop the plot in time, and now they'll have to prove that case in court.
Canadian security forces have charged 2 residents they say were involved in an al-Qaida-linked plot to carry out a terrorist attack against a passenger train. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police named the 2 suspects as Chihab Sihir and Rayad Jasser from the Montreal and Toronto areas, respectively.
At all times during the investigation initiated in August 2012, our primary focus was the safety and protection of the public. I want to reassure our citizens that while the RCMP believed the accused had the capacity and intent to carry out these criminal acts, there was no imminent threat to the general public, rail employees, train passengers, or infrastructure.
Police say it could have been a major terrorist attack. They say the men aimed to blow up or at least derail a passenger train traveling between the US and Canada.
We are alleging that these 2 individuals took steps and conducted activities to initiate a terrorist attack. They watched trains and railways in the Greater Toronto area.
The arrests come 1 week after the Boston Marathon bombing, but police say this plan is unrelated. Officials have mentioned possible links with al-Qaida elements in Iran, surprising some security experts. So far there's been no evidence of the country and al-Qaida working together against the West, and Shiite Iran has denied any involvement with the alleged plot.
The only link that seems apparent is the involvement of the American FBI, which is said to have helped avert this alleged attack on the train. Of course, they're heavily involved in the investigations of the Boston Marathon bombings, but it appears to be a coincidence, revelations of this alleged plot on a passenger train in the Toronto area. I think what's striking about it is that the suspects are alleged to have received guidance and direction from al-Qaida in Iran. That will surprise many people who've seen al-Qaida, a Sunni Muslim extremist group, on opposite sides of things from Iran, which is a Shiite Muslim state.
Well, the allegation by Canadian police that the suspects are linked to al-Qaida elements in Iran raises some questions. Al-Qaida is a fiercely anti-Shia Salafi group. Salafism is a movement within Sunni Islam. Iran, of course, is a Shia Islamic republic led by Ayatollah Khamenei. And a number of al-Qaida members, including Osama bin Laden's son-in-law, have actually been expelled from Iran.
What is known of the 2 men and the alleged plot? The first suspect has been named as Chihab Sihir, aged 30, who lives in Montreal. The second is Rayad Jasser, who is 35 and lives in Toronto. During the surveillance operation, which lasted for over a year, the men were observed watching trains and railways. It's claimed they were planning to derail a VIA passenger train in the Greater Toronto area. They were said to have chosen a route, but not a specific train. They're thought to have had direction and guidance from al-Qaida elements in Iran. It seems an unlikely link, but these arrests will only fuel the fear that Iran and al-Qaeda's core leadership under Ayman al-Zawahiri have established an operational relationship.